everyone likes sailing when they first start. It's, it is a scary sport. Your mum and dad aren't on the sidelines. You're in a boat almost by yourself. Maybe there's one or two other people, and you're doing all these weird technical things that you don't quite understand why.
I started sailing at Des Moines Sailing Club when I was about 6 or 7 years old in a little boat called a sabo. I remember finishing the Learn to Sail course and thinking, oh, I just spent the whole time bailing the water out of my boat and I don't want to do that again.
So it is quite a daunting sport to start, but what I do think is that it teaches a whole lot of independence, problem solving, resilience to be able to deal with everything that comes at you when you're on the water, and also a lot of friendships.
He got me on the boat and started sailing a bit with him and said, oh, I'll show you a bit more about the ropes and things. And so I enjoyed it once Dad had taught me a little bit more.
Leading into a non-selection for the Rio 2016 Olympics, Australia didn't send anyone in my class, that I then stepped away from the sport and really needed to reflect on my why and what I needed to do, because I didn't love the sport and I didn't love myself in that sport either. I became someone who was quite frustrated and angry at situations that were beyond my control, and I really needed to reflect on what I needed to do to be able to absorb those variables and things.
I think it was probably not at the time, but has now become maybe a positive thing for Olivia. And it was, like I said, it was disheartening to see that the 49er FX didn't go to Rio, but I think it definitely fuels our fire now. We know that we have a history in the sport, but we also have a lot to prove.
So I actually, stepped out for 5 years, and that time I finished my uni degree and I worked and I had fun and I met my fiance and I had a whole bunch of different life experiences that then, stepping back into the sport, it allowed me to love it more than I ever have. And so I'm incredibly happy to say that I love sailing more than I ever have in my life because I appreciate it for what it is.
The last 2 years have been some of the toughest moments of my life. Trying to keep up with people who are much older than me and learning myself on the go is something that comes with a lot of moments where you question, am I right or am I in the wrong, and how do I uphold my integrity whilst being in a team where the standards are high.
But I try not to get caught up in the results and those sorts of things, but strive for those performances, performance-based goals and things that are within my control, that then I can move on and be able to, I guess, find success in those smaller things.
That's not an easy one to do, and it's come with a lot of work. I speak to the sports psychologist all the time. I have a lot of people that I'll reach out to frequently to get advice, and I've actually become quite a lot closer with my family in these times, and I think it really makes you think about what is important in life and what do you really want out of this.